Someone lands on your LinkedIn profile right now. Before they read a single word, right, subconsciously they are deciding whether they are going to trust you. And unless you have ex-Google, ex-Meta, ex-AWS on your profile, right, you have seconds to win that trust. My name is Odazie. I'm a CNCF Ambassador, a cloud-native engineer, and I've worked with companies like Ansible, AWS, Cloudinary on developer education projects. And today, career note, I'm going to tell you how to build trust, right, on LinkedIn without an ex-Google, ex-LinkedIn, and ex-big tech, right, tag on your profile. And let's get right to it. And we're going to cover 4 fixes, right? 4 fixes that build trust without an ex-Google, ex-Meta badge, right? And also, we're going to look at how you can rewrite your LinkedIn About section so it keeps people reading, right, not just scrolling. And to do that, obviously, if you're engineers, you're an engineer watching this, what's best than to show you a live demo, right? So let's head over to LinkedIn and go through profiles, starting with mine, right, and see like how to write and design a LinkedIn profile that helps you build trust. So let's get started with the demo, right? And I know you may be thinking, so what's a trust test, right? So this is not like a set in stone theory or something like that, right? But something I've come to see and learn is that everyone runs a trust test on you, right? Subconsciously, not intentionally, right? And this can be a recruiter, right? This is someone that like looking for a talent to hire on a specific technology, right? Or maybe he's looking for a platform engineer, a DevOps engineer, a QA engineer, right? It can also be just like a regular colleague in the industry, right? That's just scrolling through LinkedIn. So however they came to your profile, right? Whether they saw a comment you left on someone else's post and they click on the comment and went to your profile, or a colleague mentioned you, right? They all do that subconsciously whenever they come to your profile. But not everyone has like ex-Google on their tagline, right? Or CNCF Ambassador like I do, right? So that aside, what can you do about your profile to make sure that like when a recruiter comes to your profile, when that person that is going in the industry or makes a decision maker comes to your profile, they want to connect with you, they want to have a conversation with you. So the first thing to do, right, is your intro section. Your intro section is like the very first section, and the intro section is this box right here. So where the suggestions for stops, right? So now, what first should you optimize in your intro section? I would say is your banner, right? You're watching this video right now, and check your LinkedIn banner. Is it blank or you have something there? If it's blank, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? You should have something there. So for me, right, I'm promoting the Everyday Develop newsletter that inspires, that helps engineers get their job done and shares them resources on how to go through the career, like grow on their career, like this YouTube here, right? And thousands of engineers are in the newsletter. You can also check it in a link below and join the newsletter to get latest from my team. Right, so but you might be because we have spoken at the conference, so you can put a picture of you speaking at the conference, right? Or you're interested in something, you can put a picture or an image of what you're interested in, but let it not be blank, right? Then now after this like intro, after this banner, the next thing is your headshot. So I know you've heard a lot of time, you need to have a professional headshot, you need to have this and that, right? So not everyone can like get a professional headshot, and I'm aware of that reality, but you need to have something that shows your face clearly, right? And you can see mine. And one thing I want to mention is that you don't need to like keep a stern face like you're taking a passport. You can actually smile, like you can see like I'm smiling, I'm giving up my vibe, my personality, right, in this headshot, right? So you can get a professional headshot or a selfie or something that shows your full face. So why I say this is because, so when someone sees you out there, maybe in a conference or on the street, last week someone saw me, I'm currently in the UK, saw me at Tesco, right, in my city, and wow, you said he texted me on LinkedIn that he just saw me. I've never met him before, right? But because he knows my face for LinkedIn and we connected and we talked about some jobs, opportunities and stuff that he's working on, right? And we've built a relationship, exchange contact and all, right? So that will help people recognize you wherever you are. Same like whenever I'm in Nigeria, my home country, and all that, right? So once you have like a professional headshot, or you have like a clear selfie that shows your face and all that, it must not necessarily be a headshot. You can see another person's profile. This is Anna Pedra, right? You can see her profile. Then you can also see Rohit's own, like it shows his face. So it's not necessarily like a headshot, right? So long as it shows your face and like who you are, right? Julia has a let's say more professional like mind, right? And all. But you can see what I talked about in the banner. It must not necessarily be like mine, or must be salesy or marketing or businessy, right? It can be something that express you, right? Same as Rohit, who talks about artificial intelligence, and Anna just has a nice picture of a landscape, right? And I dig that because I'm an adventurer and traveler. So now after you got that, then the next most important thing, right, that is more important than the banner and headshot, right, is your intro. Right? So this intro is very, very important because it helps LinkedIn algorithms, right, show you your post when people are searching. So now for me, I have CEO, everything DevOps, solo purpose, something simple, straightforward, right? But the most important thing is that it should talk about what you're doing, right? It should talk about what you're doing. Your intro section talk about what you're doing, and I talk about cloud native, DevOps, and AI, and I'm a CNCF ambassador, and I'm a CEO, everything DevOps. So don't just have an intro that says software engineer, platform engineer, DevOps engineer, just one line. This session, I can try to edit mine, right? You can see you have about 220 characters. I will say use it to the best. I'm not using it to the best, right? But I'll say use it to the best. You can see Julia's one, which is similar to mine, right? Straight to the point, container hero, where we are. So when someone sees that, they already like, oh, this person is the CNCF ambassador. Julia is a AWS container hero. She's the Oracle captain. She is a KCD NY organizer. She's a polyglot international speaker. Simple. You can tell someone about who you are without like writing too many words, right? Just like I did, just like Julia does, right? And now all these are keywords that search you in SEO, right? GEO and all the EOs, right? These are keywords that help the LinkedIn algorithm get you to who it needs to get you to, right? To that recruiter, to that engineer, to that colleague that is finding you, right? I know. So now you can look at Rohit, which is more descriptive, but same along the lines, right? Talk about what you do, who you are. Same with Anna. She talks about put her certifications and all that. Anna has so many certifications, right? And she shares all about that. But this is very important. So if you now can go on LinkedIn on your phone or your browser or your laptop, wherever you're watching this right now, and check if your bio is like this, right? If it's not like this, if it is not descriptive, whatever version, right, that we have here, then it needs a little work. Then all these depends. I use LinkedIn Premium, that's why I have a link and I can put links and all that, right? Then when you have that done, then the next most important section, right, and I say, okay, I always go back to the algorithm. And why I say the algorithm, right, you want when, I'm in London, right, and when a recruiter search Kubernetes or cloud native in London, my profile comes up. Or when like a decision maker searches, my profile comes up because of like what I have about my profile. And about section helps that, right? So a lot of people just put like, job responsibilities and all that, like the cliche stuff, but that doesn't keep people reading, right? Everyone like sees generic job responsibilities and all that. So you should make your about section, treat it like a LinkedIn post, right? For example, or treat it like a blog. Well, when I mean blog, I don't mean like as long as a blog, but when I mean blog is, let it tell the story, right? Let it tell the story like a LinkedIn post. And you see mine, I'm talking about, I'm building a media brand. I focused it on particular angle of what I do today, right? So I talked about the impression numbers, my story on, 2018, I wrote my first technical article on the internet. I have written over 100 articles 4 years on that, and now was featured in Keep America. So when someone starts reading this, they are captivated, they want to read more. So that's how your LinkedIn bio should be, right? Your about section should be. So try to tell a story about who you are, what you're doing at that particular point. And a key tip I'll leave for you, right? Try to go about it from a place of that you're telling a story that leads up to what you're doing now. And then you can use my template. You can also use Julia's template, right? So you can see some people take a simple part to text. So that alone captivates anyone that is reading. And let me refresh it, and you can see it, right? Just reading this alone, you want to look more. I took a scenic route, right? And you want to look more. Started as a lawyer in Brazil and all, right? So you see how captivating it and tells a story about what you're doing now. So you can copy every of these examples and use it to define your profile, right? And you see Anna talks a lot about what she's doing now and her business and all, right? So that is the next step, which is your about. So try to be very detailed, right? So where you started, what you learned, and where you are now, right? So this works because stories and trust, and everyone is very curious about people's stories. So the next section that a lot of people, I know you may be watching this and you have never heard about the feature section, because by default most people don't think about it, right? But it's an opportunity to show who you are and show yourself. So for me, right, if you remember in my about section, I said I was featured at KubeCon North America keynote for my work on documentation. Yeah, I put a post on my feature section on LinkedIn, and anyone can click on it and go and see the video and the post from 3 years ago now, because this was 2023, right? So this featured section shows what is most important to you at this particular time. And we can look at the other example or profiles we're looking at, right? So Julia does the same, talked about put features, things that are most interesting about her, right? Rohit does the same, talks about projects that you have worked in, is in feature section. Anna talks the same, right? But now this is an opportunity to show someone in a few seconds, you're showing on your profile, it stops them, they're curious, they learn more about who you are, and then they can dig more into it, right? And all. Then your activity, obviously this just shows your recent posts, your comments, your videos and all that, right? Then your experience, right? Your experience is very important. And why I say it's important, because you need to tell someone what you did, right, at that particular point or on that experience. So now this experience, right, is so, you see, I'm guilty of this, right? At the moment, I'm guilty of this. At the moment, you can see that my experience, I don't have any of this for this octopus deploy chief, no maker. But you shouldn't be like me. You should explain what you're doing in each experience. And I can go to Julia's own, right? And in each of her previous experience, she explained in depth on what she was doing, right? Same as Rohit, and put links. And you can see that from some of my past experience. I talk about what I did, right? Then education, which is very important. Then connected apps is a new feature by LinkedIn. I just learned about it, and you can connect IntelliJ IDEA, and it shows your code history and stuff that you've done. Obviously not your code in public and all, but it shows employers what you've done, right? And how you use a particular product, Replit, IntelliJ, HubSpot and all. Then licenses and certification, you put your licenses that you have, CNCF Ambassador, KCD organizers, and projects all there, right? And we have volunteer skills. And now another thing that I will also recommend is recommendation, right? Request people to give you recommendation if you can. So some of my recommendations are quite old, over 3 years ago, right? But request people to give me a recommendation. So if you take this, right, these steps, this feedback that I've given to you and implemented them on your profile, right, you will see a difference, right, in your profile in the next coming days. So obviously you don't have it to fix everything right now. So just find one section that is currently losing trust. So maybe you don't have a banner, right, like most people don't, right, or you're not as descriptive in your intro, so you can now write a better intro, right? So just figure out the minimum viable LinkedIn profile fix. The MVP, minimum viable profile, MVPF, minimum viable profile fix, right? So just figure that out and like do that today and you'll see a change, right? And one other thing I want to encourage you, share what you do on LinkedIn, post on LinkedIn, as you don't know who it might change your life and also who it might connect you to. Thank you so much for watching. To see more videos from us, click here.